Okay, folks, it's book haul time again. Actually, it's been a while since I did one of these, but I've been waiting on stuff coming from the States, which slows down things. But I'll have a look first of all at the stuff I've picked up out in the wild. I'm not going to muck about because I've got a bit to get through. Okay, right, there we are, Planet of the Apes, or Monkey Planet, whatever. Surprised I didn't have this already, but I didn't. I wish I'd found one with a bit of a more interesting cover, shall we say, but there we go, we have it now. I'm guessing that's a very, very late printing. Yeah, that's only a second printing. I thought it would be like about a 16th printing or something. So yeah, that was number one. Now, whenever you see J.G. Ballard out in the wild for cheap, it's always wise to pick it up, I find. Quite a few of these best ofs now. Quite a thick volume. It's it looks like a first UK printing of this, and it's got Terminal Beach, Day of Forever, Subliminal Man, Millennium Overloaded Man. I recognise quite a few of those. So yeah, it looks like a good mix of earlier ballads. Obviously been read, but not complaining. Right now, I thought I knew. Excuse me. I thought I knew Kurt Vonnegut. Never heard of this one though. I suspect a few of you might not have either. Galapagos, no, completely new one on me. Nice cover. That's Grafton. I love these Grafton books. There's just something solid about them, you know. They just feel good. No idea what that's about. It's not even classified as science fiction according to this, but reading the back there it is. So yeah, that was an interesting one to add, I must say. Now, sometimes I go a bit silly and I buy something just because I like the title. I've never read any K.W. Jeter. I haven't got a clue. But Noir, I thought, I've got to buy that. Cover illustration by Chris Moore. It's advertised as science fiction, and it's some dystopian atmospheric thriller apparently. So yeah, it's nice. It's brand new. A couple of quid. Thought, why not? Just what I need to fill the bookshelves that I haven't got, or I haven't got room in, shall we say? Let's put it that way. Now, this was a strange buy as well. Tombed. It says it's a horror anthology, but the reason I picked it up is why it says original fiction by Masters of Science Fiction. Never noticed that before. Fantasy and suspense. I guess I saw that, not realising that it's basically horror. But it's when I saw the list of contributors I became interested, because you have Michael Moorcock, Ian Watson, Barry Malzberg. Now that interested me because Barry Malzberg's always good. So yeah, I thought I would pick that up. It's brand new. Well, almost brand new. A couple of quid again. I thought, why not? If it's not science fiction, at least it's by a science fiction author. So does it qualify? Who cares? Right, this one's got an interesting little tale attached to it, which I will relate to you very quickly. Now, a few years before his death, I came across a website that had been set up on behalf of Harlan Ellison. Now, I've been a disciple of Harlan Ellison, read 95% of his stuff, I would imagine, since the early 70s. And I went on this website and I just got back into reading science fiction at this particular time, not collecting, but reading, and there were quite a few people up on the forum that were obviously bookish people, knew their stuff. So I just put a little post up saying, getting back into science fiction, don't want to read the usual suspects. Can you, recommend me any sort of like unusual off the wall SF? Because I didn't know what had been out at that particular time. And to my surprise, Harlan Ellison himself responded to the text and gave me a list of 6 books. Now, I'd never heard of any of these books. So straight on eBay UK, Amazon UK, not a dicky bird. Consequently, I'd given it, and I thought I'll go around down the library. Well, I went to the library, looked, no, none in there. And so I asked the girl behind the inquiries counter if they had any delisted books anywhere. She said, yeah, we've got a load downstairs. I'll go and have a look for you because we've got a list. Anyway, she came back with 1 book in her hand. Oh, well, one's better than none. And then I got it and I looked at it and thought, wow, this is a juvenile. What's Harlan Ellison doing, giving me a juvenile recommendation? But I thought, well, one of the greatest critics of our age, SF critics of our age, who am I to second guess them? So I read it and I really enjoyed it, to be honest. And I've always remembered the title, but I can never remember the author. So I rolled into my local charity shop and Fade, I know that, I reckon. And then I realised what it was. And I've always wanted a copy of it, having enjoyed it. Because I asked the girl if I could buy it at the library. She said, no, it doesn't work that way. So I couldn't buy it at the library. But yeah, I've got a copy now. So Cormier, Robert Cormier, I've never heard of him. But it's it's a nice little book. When Paul Moreau is 13, he discovers that he can fade. One child in each generation of the family has the ability to become invisible at will. And Paul has inherited the gift from his uncle, but it's a very interesting book. Not that you're likely to find it anywhere, as I couldn't. Right, I've already got this in an early Panther, but if I see any vintage American printings, I always go for them. Greybeard. It's supposed to be quite good, this. I really should have got around to reading it. It's, it's a bit off colour, but it's otherwise it's in very nice condition. I'm not sure who did the cover. It looks vaguely Richard Powers, but I think he doesn't do sort of like covers like that. But anyway, yeah, it's a nice edition, so I'll shift my Panther edition in favour of that one. Now this one, I've already actually got this book in the very same livery. The only reason I got it is for nostalgic purposes, because the printing is from the year when I probably read it, because when I was young, I got into science fiction via John Wyndham and H.G. Wells. Now this one is reprinted 1961. I'd have been 13. It was about the time I started reading Wyndham, so I thought I would replace my other copy with this and use the other copy as a reading copy, because that's got some nostalgic value to me, even though it's exactly the same book. It shows you how bonkers us collectors can get. Right, high on my list of shame of books I haven't read is Frankenstein. I've not even got a copy. And I saw this out in the wild and I realised that I didn't even have a copy. To be honest, I've never seen it around in the wild that I can remember. So, again, for a couple of quid, I thought, right, we'll pick up a copy of that, and I've got no excuse for not reading it now. So that was that one. And then last but not least, now, this isn't science fiction. You can't, there's no way you can tie Edgar Allan Poe to science fiction in any way, or shape or form. But I suppose a lot of his stories have a fantasy element, and I like him anyway, so I thought I would chuck it in. I particularly like his poems, actually. I like The Raven, Haunted Palace. I actually committed The Haunted Palace to memory. It's not that long a poem, but yeah, I love his stuff. And I saw this again. It's brand new, a couple of quid, and it's got all his famous stuff in there. So I thought, yeah, why not? I'll classify it as fantasy and stick it in the book hole. So there you go. Right, now we get to the main event as far as I'm concerned. And that's my door pickups for, I'll just bring them forward a bit so I can get them. That's my door pickups for the month of August. Now, before I start with those, I'm just going to show you this. You wouldn't know it unless you looked very closely at the top there, but it's bibliography of retrospective of door books 72 to 87, which takes it past the Yellow Spines. They finished in 84, and this goes up to number 717, I think it is. But basically what you have here is an encyclopedia of door books, which to a door nerd like me is nectar. It's not a fan-produced thing either. It says here, Sheldon Jeffrey, a full-time trial attorney practicing solo with a penchant for bibliographic research. It's quite a respected researcher, actually. And this goes book by book and gives you all the information you really need to know. I'll just give you an example. It tells you all about printings and stuff, and then it jumps into the actual books. So we'll take book number 2 as an example. Number 2, Green, Joseph, Mind Behind the Eye, code number, first US edition, first print in April 72. Cover art by Josh Kirby, so it gives you all that info. But the most important thing for me here is originally published in the UK by Gollancz 71 under the title Gold the Man. So if you found Gold the Man out, you had this number 2 here, and you saw Gold the Man out in the world, oh, that looks interesting. Needn't buy it because you already got it, and that gives you that information. Same with the previous one, it gives you all that information I just mentioned. This is later published by Greg Press, and then the 7th book of the Witchworld saga. So, it's all information that is useful to know. And then if you jump forward to number 5, which is the annual World's Best SF for 1972, it gives you a list of all the contents. So, there's a wealth of information in there. And anybody like me who's a door aficionado, it's really indispensable, I would say. It was Gary Levisi in the States who introduced me to this. He showed it on one of his videos, and I was immediately interested. And I luckily managed to get a first printing. It's a nice cover there. The later printings are all pretty generic and nasty looking. So, yeah, I was pleased to get that one. Now to the actual books. It's interesting stuff here because most of it is from America. I think there's 2 from this country. Most of it's been imported from America or Canada. Canada's a lot quicker actually. You normally get stuff in 5 days as opposed to the fortnight from America. And most of this stuff you never see. You never see in the UK at all. I've never seen it anyway. And I've been looking for, say, 2 years. Right, so let's have a look, see what we've got. Oh, Milo, yeah. Cat's become interested in what I'm doing. Right, I'll take these 2 together because these are 2 of the scarcer Jack Vance books in this particular series, Alastor. There's another one as well, which is more common. But yeah, I was pleased to get hold of those. Actually, that one I got from an English seller quite cheap. And that is number 419. And then that one is the most difficult of the 3 to find. And that is number 418. No, so there. Yeah, 418, 419. A lot of these came in plastic, so I've left them in the plastic just to keep them clean, but you can see them. And they're two, those two. I think there's another Vance later on, but it means I've got all the Vance now. Milo, will you clear off? Right, this is part of a series. Faded Sun, there's 3 in this series. Kutath, and I forget the other one. This is the third I needed to complete that little series, so not a fan of CJ Cherry and fantasy anyway, so it probably wouldn't interest me. And that is door number 333. I'll be doing a run through of the first 300 because I managed to actually complete the first 300 out of the 580 that I'm endeavouring to collect. So I'll be doing a run through of those, and we'll go through the salient information like a cover artist and what have you. Excuse me, Milo, can I get me books? Thank you. Right, this one I have seen in the UK. Somebody had it up recently, but it was in a lot, and they wouldn't split it out for me. But yeah, so I went to America, picked that one up, number 380. Tanith Lee. A lot of the Tanith Lee books have become fairly pricey now. I've got one on the way from America still that's one of the more pricey ones. Right. Gore Indoor. Yeah, that's the last one I need to complete the Yellow Spine series of the Gore books. That was the only other one that I got from this country. Actually took 3 weeks to get to me, which is about a week more than it would have taken from America. There was a bit of a mix-up with the seller. But yeah, so that completes my Gore set. All of these Spine's the Thing. All of these are fairly good except for the one Vance there. It's a bit sun faded, but the rest of them are quite nice. Okay, now here's one that's very scarce. Garments of Cayenne. Forget where I got this from. It wasn't from this country, but yeah, quite a scarce one. Number 379. Not a bad spine. Interesting cover. Yeah, that's that one. Now this one's tricky to find. This is Kurt Selby is actually Doris Pisercia, writing under this pseudonym. She did two books under this pseudonym. The other was iZombie, which is tricky to find. I haven't got that one yet, but I was pleased to get that one. And that's number 436, so a later one. Right now, these Philip, move this pile out there because it's teetering on the brink. Right, the later numbers, there's a lot of Philip K. Dick books which are horribly expensive. I mean, the the Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch, for instance, you can pick up the first Ace printing, which is a true first printing, for, I don't know, 20, 25 quid. And yet they want something like, I don't know, 60 quid for the door. But I think some of the door books were a low print when you get to the 500. So this is one of the cheaper Philip K. Dicks. Now wait for last year. I think that was 20 odd, which is quite cheap for Philip Dicks, but for some reason that one is less scarce than the rest. Right, I just got this one the other day. I thought it had been lost in the post because it didn't track. Now these are tricky to find. I was very fortunate in that the best pickups I've ever had from a charity shop were, there's 11 of these in the series, that's in Yellow Spine at least. And I managed to pick up 8 of the 11 altogether, all in near mint condition from a charity shop. That's the best haul I've ever had. From a charity shop, quite unbelievable really, but certainly saved me a lot of grief because these are A, quite scarce now, and B, quite expensive. Right, put those to one side, we'll do those last. Right, there's another Tanith Lee, a bit sun faded, but it was cheap. And this one is, it's not that particularly easy to find. That was the third one that I got from this country, actually. That's 226. A nice Don Mates cover there. So yeah, that was only about 7 quid post-paid, which is pretty cheap for that Tanith Lee. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice already. Okay, now this one I have seen on UK eBay, but I didn't buy it because it was what I thought was expensive. But when I decided to go for it, it sold. So went all the way to America for that Jagged Orbit. John Brunner. That's a later one. That's very, very close to the end of the Yellow Spines, 570. So I'm just watching the cat there, wrecking the joint. Okay, yeah, so that's a big book. Fairly decent condition, I would say. Jagged Orbit. Right, now this is the other Vance that completes my Jack Vance series of books. So we did a lot for Door. That was the final one that completed. Don't need any more Jack Vance. So, again, a later one, 527. I've never seen it in the UK before. Right, yeah, this is a tricky one as well. Golden Barge. I've got a Savoy issue of that with a nice cover. Pretty good nick. That's not breaking the spine, that's the actual bag you can see there. That's in fairly mint condition. Nice, and that's 407. Okay, that's the other Moorcock. I still need one more Moorcock, I think, to complete him. That's 282. So luckily most of these are nice bright yellow spines, so I'm quite happy. Now this was a good one to get. That completes my horror stories. These are not as hard to find in the States, but they are over here. They've crept up to horrible prices, actually. Some of them. That was number 11, which is the last of the yellow spines, and yeah, a bit spine faded there, but yeah, good. That completes those, so that's one headache out of the way. If you were to start a collection of doors now, that would be one of your problems, getting those 11. Right, now there was a bit of a mess up with this one. I sent to America for it. It was just a single copy from somebody, and unfortunately they had 2 copies of it, done by the Sun. One of the scarcer Tanithles. As you can see up there, it has the catalogue number rather than the collector's number, which I don't accept. Anyway, I got onto them and they realised what had happened. They sent me a later printing because they had 2. And they said, oh, well, just keep that and we'll send you off the proper one. So that's in the post. So that's just a placeholder, really, till the other one arrives, probably in about a week or so. So no worries there. Right, now these last 3 were the ones that pleased me the most, because they are not easy to find, and they're not easy to find at a decent price. If you can get them under 50 quid these days, you're doing all right, which I managed to do. They're the 3 Strugatsky's books. Monday begins on Saturday. Interesting title. Good shape. Yeah, so I think these are tricky because they're first English translations or something. I'm forgetting offhand. But yeah, if you can get these 3, you're doing all right, which I managed to do. As I say, all under 50 quid. So, you know, it shows you how difficult it's becoming to advance the collection somewhat. Number 269. And then we have probably the most desirable of the Strugatsky's books, Hard to Be a God. It's number 126. Again, just got that sticker to worry about, but I'll try and... It might be tough to remove, but as I say, it's such a hard book to pin down that I was willing to take it, and then that was the final one I needed to complete the first 300. That arrived just a day or 2 ago, just in time for this video, and that's number 218. So yeah, nice buys. Right now, state of play is that I have 556 of the 580, which leaves me 24. And that represents 96% towards completion. Now, unfortunately, I would say half of those 24 are going to cost. So, but they're all available, so it's not a matter of if I complete the challenge, it's a question of when, because I only have a certain amount of disposable income and they're all going to come in dribs and drabs, so like ones at a time. So by the end of this year, bearing in mind you've got Christmas, I don't expect to be finishing that challenge, but I'll give it a good bash in the new year. So that's how we stand with the door challenge. So anyway, thanks for looking in again, and I'll be doing 4 videos shortly, giving you a deeper dive look into the the first, well, from 101 through to 300. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very shortly. Bye bye now.